Tonight, we will be filled with information. Truth to Life will empower us to create a life-changing legacy to every individual that we are going to touch.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And tonight, I am privileged, and I will say with conviction and sincerity, that we are among great speakers, formulator and co-founder. 35 years of experience in nutrition and physiology.
Okay.
Yes. And with great admiration, I would like to introduce Dr. Michael.
Wonderful. I'm so glad to be here standing with Karen. See, people that pay attention and take action wind up in a very different place in life in a relatively short period of time.
Right.
She's relatively new in our company, but she made an announcement to us today that means a lot. She's left her other job to pursue her life in True to Life.
Another one, like me.
So, how's everybody doing?
Fabulous.
Good, good. My name is Dr. Mike Shalhoub. Everybody calls me Dr. Mike because they can never pronounce my last name. You don't have to pronounce it. Did you guys ever see the show Monk on television?
Yes. Yes.
Tony Shalhoub, that's a distant relative of mine. I never would have said Shalhoub like the actor. I'm 100% Lebanese, but I was born in Los Angeles, as were my parents. How I wound up being 100% Lebanese is they actually met at a Lebanese wedding. So I'm second generation Angelino, but 100% Lebanese. I don't speak any Arabic. So don't come up to me and give me Arabic words because I won't know what you're saying. I was actually born and raised in East Los Angeles. I thought I was a Mexican until I was 12. My parents told me, you're not a Mexican, which was heartbreaking for me.
I like that.
And then that's, you know, that's honest to God truth. But growing up in East Los Angeles was a real rough area. Olympic and Atlantic, if you guys are familiar with that.
Yes. Yes.
So I started weight training, not so much for ego as it was a means to survival. And that's what really started my study of nutrition. And one of the things that really picked up my study of nutrition is I have a sister that's 1 year older than me. She was 18 at the time, I was 17, and she developed type 2 diabetes. I watched her practice giving shots to an orange when she was first diagnosed. And then when I watched her give herself her first shot, I almost fainted. That's when I started to get real serious about the study of nutrition. That was 40 years ago. I have 3 older sisters. 2 of them have had organ transplants because of diabetes. I have my grandma on my dad's side died of diabetic complications from menopause. And yet here I am with diabetes on both sides of my family at 57 years old. I've never even had an antibiotic.
Wow.
There's got to be a reason for that. We've all been told this genetics happening. Well, I'm here to tell you genetics is a fairy tale. That's not why people are sick or why people are well. We're in the middle of an epidemic of cancer, heart disease, autoimmune diseases. If it was because of our genetics, that would imply that our DNA is somehow melting down, somehow crumbling, somehow failing us. Impossible. Make sense?
Yes.
So what we have here, this is the True to Life book of How and Why. See, how and why implies a law called the law of cause and effect. For everything we see, we should be able to ask the question why. And there should be answers there that make sense. So if we take a look at this, 4 out of 5 Americans will suffer and possibly die from cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and autoimmune diseases. See, despite spending over $2 trillion a year, almost no one dies of old age anymore. Why? You guys realize that the cost of healthcare is doubling every 7 to 10 years. If the system worked, would it cost us more next year or less?
Less.
It would cost us less, wouldn't it? But instead it's doubling every 7 to 10 years. See? Liver toxicity and enzymatic deficiencies. These are the 2 things that True to Life represents more specifically and more thoroughly than any company on the face of the earth. That's also the reason why our nation is so sick. We all know that obesity has been linked to cancer, diabetes, and heart disease, don't we? We've all heard that? Okay. That's why, because of liver toxicity and enzymatic deficiency. And again, if our healthcare system worked and actually made people healthy, it would cost less and less every year, not more and more. How come it costs more and more? Because this is not being addressed. See, where's the toxicity coming from? Our bodies are designed to deal with the toxicity that's normal to our environment. Unfortunately, we're exposed to a lot more. This study was done by the Red Cross, the one at the top, on water quality. You know what the biggest contaminant and the biggest concern is for your drinking water? It's the pharmaceuticals that are there. You take a medication, your body absorbs a certain percent. The rest gets spilled over into the water supply. So you multiply that times billions and billions and billions of doses of medication. What are they finding in your drinking water right now? Things like antidepressants, estrogens, painkillers, just to name a few. This next study, look at that little perfect baby. This is a study done by the Red Cross. Now the Red Cross doesn't have an axe to grind. They're not part of the AMA. They're not part of True to Life. They're a neutral organization, wouldn't you say?
Yes. Yes.
You know what the Red Cross found? In the blood in babies' umbilical cords. These are babies that haven't had a breath of air yet. They found over 217 chemicals toxic to the brain and 208 that led to abnormal development in 100% of the babies. Not 50%, 100%. Now we're probably at least as toxic as a newborn baby, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So then who needs to do a detox and a liver cleanse? Everybody. What's the sexiest organ in your body?
My heart.
Guests?
My
Only.
heart.
Your heart. That's the romantic people. Your eyes? That's the visual people. Anybody else? It's your liver. It's your liver. It's amazing how a word that is such a buzzkill is really the sexiest organ in your body. Your skin, ultimately, is a byproduct of the quality of liver function. So is your hair. So is your teeth. So are your fingernails. So is your muscle. All of that is a product of liver function. We age from the inside out, and the organ responsible for how fast that happens is your liver. How many of you are interested in anti-aging?
Oh yeah.
It's like $1 trillion industry, isn't it? We age from the inside out. You can put all the creams, potions, notions from the outside in. But if you don't deal with the liver, you've done nothing to combat the aging process. Okay? See, the spots that we get, they're called liver spots, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're also called age spots, aren't they?
Yes.
For a reason. Is this you? If this sounds like any of you, I want you to raise your hand.
I'm okay.
Always tired, putting on weight while eating the same, thinning hair, poor sleep. Sound familiar?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if that sounds a little familiar. Because it's just about everybody, isn't it? Toxic interference with your metabolism begins in the liver. This is a gallbladder that's filled with stones. Isn't that disgusting? There's a reason why they're there, and there's a reason why that interferes with your metabolism. Your body's supposed to break down the toxic metabolics of life. One of those is estrogen. Estrogen can't be broken down by a toxic liver as effectively as it can a liver that is non-toxic. So estrogen levels elevate in the bloodstream. Estradiols, free estrogen, and denatured estrogen, and guess what they do? They actually interfere with how well your thyroid functions. Your thyroid is your metabolism gland. It produces hormones that regulate your metabolism. Unfortunately, when there's too much estrogen in your bloodstream, it can't do its job. Does that make sense? Okay. Also, when the liver is toxic, your bloodstream becomes very acidic. Your hormones were designed to function at a very narrow pH range. When you become too acidic, hormones don't function as well as they're supposed to either. And there's dozens of mechanisms just like that that implicate the liver as being the culprit in metabolisms that are quote-unquote slowing down. See? The solution? Cleanse, balance, build, and restore. There's some companies that where you'll send a urine sample or maybe a blood test, and they'll test those things, and they'll develop a supplement for you based on where you are at that point in time. But what they're trying to do is balance a toxic system. What makes more sense to me and the people in True to Life is, let's cleanse the body first. Then if you want to do something beyond that, you can. But you know what we found? Bodies don't need help. They just need no interference. If you're good about removing the toxic interference to the expression of life, there isn't a whole lot else that you need to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. This is our first system. This is our liver pure system. This is the box that system comes in. We are the only company that has a true liver detoxification system. Powerful enough to cause people to express stones, sometimes the size of walnuts. And I can see the guests' eyes getting this big. They come out the back, not the front. So you don't feel much. We're the only company that has a product strong enough to do that. How many of you have ever done a cleanse or a detox besides True to Life? Oh, a few of us? Okay. If you do a cleanse or a detox without detoxing the liver first, it's like changing your oil in your car and not changing the filter. That's what's different about True to Life is We are the only company that creates something called a true toxic vacuum. Make sense?
Yes.
We're also the only company, besides having those stones pass, we're the only company that's had them tested. This is what they found in those things so far. Sulfide, fluoride, mercury, nitrates. Known neurotoxins and carcinogens. Now how many people want to keep those things in their body?
Yeah.
Anybody? Doesn't make sense, does it?
Nope.
Pretty simple. Once you purge these toxins, you want to make sure they are not reabsorbed by the body. That's where our true cleanse comes in. Everything that we do is in a straw pack. You tear it open, you mix it with water. Why did we do that? We reverse engineered other companies' products before we launched, and we found out if you have a product in solution and it's been sitting there for any length of time, and typically by the time you consume it at 2 or 3 months old, it's almost chemically inactive by the time you consume it. If you open it up and expose it to oxygen, guess what happens in a day or two? It is inactive. So all of our products, with the exception of our enzymes, are done in straw packs. So you tear it open, you mix what you're going to consume that day, and it's 100% fresh, 100% bioavailable. Isn't that cool?
Oh, yes.
No binding agents, no fillers, no toxins, nothing that's going to affect your body's assimilation. The only side effect to our product is better health. Pretty cool?
Yes.
So we bind the toxins. Our Always Fresh straw pack keeps your True Cleanse 100% fresh, so it can help bind and eliminate the toxins mobilized by the liver cleanse, and also start providing nutrients that the body needs that it's been deficient in because of the toxicity. Hunger. Now here's the other reason we're obese. Remember the 2 reasons that we talked about already? Liver toxicity and enzymatic deficiencies. When our liver is toxic, it affects our metabolism. The other reason for obesity in this country, and probably even bigger reason, is enzymatic deficiencies. Enzymes are the chemicals that are supposed to be contained in the food that we eat, but aren't. My granddad lived to be 107 years old. He had a couple acres in La Puente. He plowed those acres with a plow on his back till he was 99 years old. He rotated the crops every year. Every 7th year, he let the crop die and go back into the soil. He used natural fertilizers, nothing inorganic. He had a chicken coop. To me, it's not any surprise as to why he lived to be 107 and healthy every single year of his life. Now, we don't grow food in America that way anymore, though, do we? We don't. Not only do we not rotate crops, we grow more than 1 crop a year. We use accelerants and stimulants to grow food twice as fast as it was intended. We use synthetic fertilizers and chemicals so that the enzyme content in our food has been reduced by 50 to 90%. Enzymes are the chemicals in the food that break it down and literally turn it into us. Jack Lane had a saying, what's on your plate today is walking and talking tomorrow. Kind of a scary thought, isn't it? Think you say that to yourself every time before you eat, you're going to watch what you put in your mouth. But the enzymes break down the food and turn it either into energy or structure, muscles, ligaments, tendons, bones, etc. If we don't have the enzymes, then the body can't do that. So keep that thought in mind. Here's a formula. Our enzymes are 50 to 90% deficient. Let's just say conservatively that 50% of the enzymes are missing. If we have a 500-calorie meal and we only have 250 digestible calories due to a 50% decrease in enzyme activity, where do the other 250 calories go? Anybody want to guess? Where do those extra 250 calories go that the enzymes can't break down? We're sitting on them. We're sitting on them. So even if you're dieting, even if you're in a restricted caloric intake, some of those calories are spilling into storage. That's why it's getting harder and harder for people to lose weight. How many here have starved themselves to lose 5 pounds only to have it come right back as soon as you go back to normal eating? Sound familiar?
Yes.
See, that yo-yo effect that Oprah's become famous for, that's the main reason. See, you have to have the enzymes on our system. And again, we don't have a product really in true life. We have a system. And it's more complete and better thought out than any other system on earth. And what it's done is, we've timed it perfectly to maximize your body's physiology. Your body doesn't want to carry the extra weight either. So when you take the enzymes as you're supposed to, a couple things happen. You're eating less calories, but your body's actually getting more nutrition because of so many enzymes in this little capsule that you have. Number 2, guess what it is that shuts off your hunger? See, it's not the food we eat that shuts off the hunger, it's the enzymes in the food. Those are the things that ultimately cause a chemical called leptin to be secreted by the body, shutting off the hunger signal to the brain. Isn't that wild? So can you see how we can overeat if the enzymes aren't in the food?
Yes.
And then we overeat enzymatically deficient food and more of it goes into storage. Guess what else enzymes do? These are little scrubbing bubbles inside your bloodstream that eat up scar tissue. Scar tissue in joints, scar tissues in arteries, scar tissues in the skin. Skin scar tissues we call keloids, we call all kinds of different things. What do we call scar tissue in your circulatory system? Arteriosclerotic plaque. We take pills for cholesterol, but cholesterol is one of 5 or 6 different components of plaque. Fibrinogen, collagen, proteins, all kinds of stuff goes into making that plaque that blocks an artery, not just cholesterol. Some people believe one of the things that contributes to that that's very significant is the fact that we don't have enzymes in our food anymore. So the little scrubbing bubbles can't do their job.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Our next product, this is our fast food. What do you guys think of the packaging?
Very sexy.
Isn't that sexy? Isn't that awesome? What do you think of the name? Fast food.
Complete food.
Who was the marketing genius that came up with that name? Doc, do you know? Who was that?
Yeah, that's purple.
Arriaza.
This is a true meal replacement. Other companies have shakes that you drink, protein shakes, and sometimes you can call them meal replacement. But if it's not complete, if it's not as complete as the food that you should be eating, it's not going to cut your appetite, it's not going to provide the nutrients. In ours, what do we have in ours? Vitamins, minerals, trace minerals, antioxidants, essential fatty acids, BSE certified proteins, digestive enzymes, more of our enzyme blend, super greens, gluten-free fiber, probiotics. How many know what probiotics are? Probiotics are the good bacteria that are supposed to be in your colon but aren't. How many people here have had an antibiotic in the course of their life? Everybody? See, again, I'm proud to say at 57 I've never even had an antibiotic. But if you've had a round of antibiotics, there's a good chance that the intestinal bacteria are still not healthy because of that antibiotic. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So all of our products have a small dose of that probiotic. Our enzymes have the probiotic, our shake. So if you're on our system, you're getting probiotics introduced into your system 2 and 3 times a day. Guess what else is in our shake? Something called a prebiotic. Things that help probiotics thrive, like the gluten-free fiber and other ingredients that we put in here that are very well thought out. So the probiotics that you get have an environment that's not hostile to them, but one that actually helps them flourish and grow. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Our next product. Oh, and by the way, that tastes phenomenal. Rebs, how does shakes taste?
Fabulous. Really good.
I'm going to share a little something with you. You know what I do now?
Yummy.
We have a Cabo trip coming up in a couple months for some of our reps. So we all got to be looking good. We got to be representing like Elizabeth here. Who's done a phenomenal job. Stand up, Elizabeth. Show them this figure. Look at this.
Wow.
It's so revealing, absolutely. How many sizes are you down?
4.
4 sizes? Give her a big round of applause. So right now, I have tightened up my regimen. I need to be a product of the product just like everybody else does. So you know what I've done for myself at nighttime when I want a snack? My tough time is right before I go to bed. How many people have that tough time? You want to have a little something?
Okay.
So I take in a little plastic cup, a little disposable cup, I make a little half of a shake, and then I put a little bit of whipped cream on top, and then I put it in the freezer for a couple hours. And then that's like my little ice cream parfait before I go to bed. It's only about 100 calories. But it tastes phenomenal. Cut your appetite and I sleep like that. Isn't that great? That's honest got true.
Sold.
Yes, sold. Good. This is our energy drink. How many here drink energy drinks?
I do.
Let's be honest.
True Boost.
Anybody drink Red Bull? Are you Red Bull drinkers? Monster?
I want Black Bull.
Kind of depends. Okay. See, people think that energy drinks, it's the caffeine that's bad. Well, yes and no. That's an oversimplification. Caffeine by itself is not a toxin. What caffeine does to your adrenal glands is how people become toxic. Your thyroid is your metabolism gland. Your adrenal glands are your energy glands. They produce adrenaline. We have the only energy drink on earth that provides a full complement of herbal adrenal support. So no matter how much of this you drink, your adrenal glands just get stronger and stronger and stronger. you can't fatigue them. Does that make sense? Our caffeine is sourced naturally from organic green tea and coffee. We have an ORAC value, an antioxidant value of over 4,000. This is loaded with vitamins and minerals, including CoQ10, something very few other products on earth have in the abundance that we have in all of our products. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And you know what else happens with caffeine? It's also an appetite suppressant. So if you're on our system and you happen to get hungry, and usually you don't because our system is so well thought out, if you follow it perfectly, you're not hungry anyhow, but if you do, you have a true boost. It killed your appetite, it supported your adrenals, it loaded you with antioxidants, loaded you with B vitamins, loaded you with CoQ10. Is that pretty cool?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So everything that we've done complements everything else in True to Life. So that again, what True to Life provides for you is not a product, but a system. And what I've just explained to you is our initial 30-day system. See, we have other products. This is our multivitamin, again, in a straw pack. These are the products that are in our straw pack. Those are what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different products. That if you were to go to the health food store, you'd have to buy 10 different products. It cost you 5 times what our product costs, but it still wouldn't be as good. You know why? Ours is in a 1-a-day straw pack. Again, no binding agents, no fillers, no preservatives. You tear it open, you mix it with water, it's 100% fresh and bioavailable every time. Does that make sense? Our children's vitamin is the same formula as the adults, but less potency because kids don't need as much. But guess what else we put in that straw pack? We put 2 grams of gluten-free fiber. Why? Because if your kids are out in a social environment that's pervasive today, they're going to have some junk, aren't they? Isn't it nice to know that they're getting all the nutrients they need and some additional fiber to kind of counteract all those bad things? In a perfect world, it wouldn't be so important, but we don't live in a perfect world. Now our True Beauty line. Wow. See, health and beauty, they kind of go hand in hand, don't they?
Oh, yes.
Are beautiful people ever real sickly people? Usually the beautiful people are pretty healthy too, aren't they?
Yes.
They're almost synonymous terms if you really think about it. If you're lean and fit, you have a low body fat content, a glow in your eyes, great hair, teeth, skin, nails, you're going to be pretty sexy, aren't you?
Oh, yes.
You better believe it. Okay. True Smooth. Now I know no one is affected by this in this room, but this is our cellulite cream.
For the friends.
This is for your friends, yes, because I know no one here has that problem. True to Life, how many here are familiar with all the controversy about alkalinity? We're all too acidic, we need to become more alkaline.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of water companies now that are very popular, etc. What people don't realize is the #1 source of alkalinity in a human being isn't the water they drink, and it isn't the food they eat. It's the bile that their liver secretes. In some people, the pH of their liver bile is 9. That's one of the most alkaline compounds that your body's ever going to be exposed to. When it's toxic and that's not flowing, that's one of the reasons we become so acidic. The stones themselves are because they're acidic. They're acidic toxins that the body needs to neutralize so it'll bind calcium to those acids. And that's how the stones form in the first place. Cellulite is just a different manifestation of the same problem. When you're too acidic and the tissue underneath the skin becomes acidic, the body's pulling calcium to neutralize that acid. Little calcium walls are built, and that's what causes the fat to bunch up. So what we have here is a surfactant emulsifier that goes in, neutralizes the acidity, breaks up the calcium walls, and helps drive the lipids back into circulation. Pretty cool?
Yes.
And what women have told me is 1 or 2 applications and they can measure the difference. Isn't that nice? That you can have a measurable difference in a very, very short period of time? Awesome. So we're helping to reestablish normal alkalinity underneath the skin, thus complementing the effect overall on the body. Same thing with our True Peel. The way that human beings void toxins, 3 ways. Respiration, breathing. Elimination through bowel movements and urination. And also through perspiration through our skin. Our bodies are being forced to try to get rid of toxins through the skin that were never designed to be expressed through the skin. That's why we have an all-organic little peel. All natural to allow your body to exfoliate that dead skin so your skin can actually breathe the way it was intended. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, ladies that have used this, what do you think?
Great.
Isn't that awesome?
Awesome.
It's like the best thing you can find at Macy's or any other boutique, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, so these are our systems, and again, we have our calendar here. This comes with every initial order. The 30-day system is simple. You just check the box, check the box. If this isn't complete enough, you go online. We have 30 videos in English and in Spanish, and soon in Tagalog. Tagalog. There you go.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome? So that if this isn't complete enough, you can go online, but it's really, really simple. You just take it one step at a time. This is the value of what we bring to you in True to Life. Not a product, but a system. If anybody tells you the only thing you need to be healthy is this magic berry or this magic juice, it's a fairy tale.
Wow.
I've been involved in nutrition for 40 years. Every single one of those 40 years, there's been some miracle product that's going to save mankind. And have we been saved? No. See, nature doesn't need any help, just no interference. The power of True to Life is that we provide the best system on earth. The toxic interference to the expression of your life. There's a blueprint for your life, and that blueprint is perfect. All we have to do is seek to eliminate the interference. That's it. That's why we're called True to Life. There's no deception in life. A tree doesn't lie. A tree is a tree is a tree. There's nothing in God's creation that's deceptive. Remember the two trees in the garden? Not to get too spiritual for you, but remember the two trees? We had the tree of knowledge and the tree of life. We worship knowledge in this country as opposed to worshiping life as a manifestation of the Creator. So we can't figure it out, and we don't need to figure it out. All we have to figure out is what was the plan and what was the blueprint for life. And let's reestablish that. And then we have no problems. Instead, in this country, we spend $2 trillion a year on a system that's failed us miserably. Miserably. It's bankrupted our nation. We can't export more than we import because we can't pay our employees. We have to pay our employees more for the health care benefits after they retire than we paid them as a wage while they were working. How are we supposed to compete in the open market with that? We can't. So there's no fixing our recession. There's no fixing our economic woes in this country until we first get healthy. That's the true purpose of True to Life. To allow people to have access to the truth so they can live accordingly. So they can live the True to Life way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
See, we have other issues in this country too, don't we? We have people that are having a hard time making ends meet. We have people that are working more than they ever worked and are more broke than they've ever been. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Well, guess what? We have an answer to that too.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, we're either sick physically or we're sick financially, but most of us are sick. And we've got what the doctor ordered. There's 3 components to a company like this. First one's product. You have to have a product that works, and I will stand behind my product. In my opinion, we have the best product available on the face of this earth in the history of mankind.
Yes.
I may be wrong, but I am sincerely wrong. Okay? But that's exactly what I believe. We also have a compensation program that pays people for their work. We have people now that have come to us from many other companies that have been from company to company to company. And let me tell you something. In this relationship marketing world, if you've been in more than one company, there was a problem with the company. Either the product didn't work or the comp plan didn't pay. But network marketers should not be a national band of gypsies.
Yep.
They should find a company that's worth staying with and stay for life.
Yes.
And that's what we have created here in True to Life.
Absolutely.
We have created a home for the wandering generality. A home for the people that want to live in principle and in purpose, so that they can make a difference in the lives of others that'll translate into a difference in the lives that they lead as well. So the gentleman I'm going to bring up next, my co-founder and friend, sometimes tormentor, is an expert in this whole concept of relationship marketing. He and I had an experience in another company. It was kind of a Cinderella experience. But it was a company that had a miserable product and a worse comp plan. And his first check, as excited as he was a whopping $56.
Wow.
But guess what it was 12 months later? it was almost $120,000 a month
Wow.
with a bad comp plan and a bad product. Why? Because he believes in people. He believes in empowering people like you and me for your sake. And then duplicating that process in as many people as possible to make the most meaningful change that we can make socially, economically, and every other way. And he's excellent at that. He's got an intuition and a skill and ability that goes even beyond my understanding. Sometimes he refers to me as his mentor, but I guarantee you, I've learned more from him than he's ever learned from me. But he is a little bit shy. So when I bring him up, I want you all to give him really feel welcome. Give him a big round of applause. My friend and co-founder, Dr. Louis Arriaza.
Under medication for hypertension, high cholesterol, and all that. I don't have to take them anymore.
Wow.
And,
Understand one thing. Hypertension, high blood pressure, any heart problems, even diabetes, those are lifestyle diseases. Yes or no, Mom?
Absolutely, Doug. They're not genetic, they're lifestyle and they're choices. Unfortunately, we're not given the truth, so we can't make good choices. In this company, we give you the truth.
That's right. Now, to go from here to here, she had to remove this. And these are the bile stones, these are the liver stones that came out. Some of them may say, that is just nasty. Yes? Well, you'd rather have the nastiness out of you than inside of you. Because if it's still inside of you, listen, when I graduated only 18 years ago, the average American male was walking around with 7 pounds of impacted fecal material in their large intestine. I went to a seminar 2 weeks ago. The average American male is walking around with over 24 pounds of undigested food and fecal material. Where did that little baby come from? It came from this congestion. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you want this out of you.
yes.
Mr. John Brasino, a long time friend of Dr. Michael Shalhoub. What was your experience with True to Life?
After starting the liver detox, I lost 24 pounds in 28 days. Within the course of the year, I lost a total of 54 pounds.
Wow.
54 pounds. And we had the pleasure of knowing John and his lovely wife, Gloria. I've never heard of him saying, I'm starving, or I'm irritable, or, you know some people, when they go on diets, it's like, move away. Because, I mean, they're just unbearable. Yes or no? Yes, because it's not a lifestyle. But more important than what he has lost, what have you gained?
Oh, I gained my life back. I was a victim of Western medicine. 3 or 4 doctors that kept me on massive amounts of medication with refills and refills and refills. Whenever anybody asked me how I felt, just medicated me. And I was on a drug called prednisone, blew me up like a basketball. And
What was the medication for?
the medication was for infection in my lungs that I got. Due to arthritis medicine, it causes pulmonary disease.
Wow.
And
So it was a side effect.
Absolutely.
Side effect.
And I have scar tissue in my lungs. But also I want you to know that Dr. Mike said, John, double up your enzymes, which I did. Actually, I tripled up. And I increased my lung capacity. I was breathing at 47%. Being tested at the Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I had a 9% increase in lung capacity.
And that was an increase that they said you could never get.
I have what they call an irreversible lung damage.
And that irreversible reversed by 9%.
Absolutely.
And 9% to you is like 1,000%.
It's dramatic.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't know about lung volume capacity, Dr. Mike is I mean, 10% is gigantic. Yes, I mean, it's the difference between you feeling like that suffocating feeling and you feeling normal.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So it is getting your life back. Thank you. Let's give both of you applause. This is about changing your life. Okay? And Mrs. Steptoe was the first person when I was 6 years old, she was the first person that ever told me that she believed in me. Okay? B.J. Palmer, one of my favorite philosophers, once said, he said, you never know how far-reaching what you may say, think, or do today will affect the lives of millions tomorrow. It's better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. Get the big idea, and all else will follow. You don't know how this is going to change you. You don't know how great you're going to be a year, 2 years, 3 years from today. I'm not a surfer. I'm from South Central Los Angeles. Dr. Michael is a surfer. Although he thought he was Latin, but he's in Orange County. He's been there for a while now. Yes?
Yes, I have.
Yes. And I don't know much about surfing, but I know that you have to paddle before the wave gets to you.
Yeah.
Yes? Because if you wait for the wave, you're going to miss it. Not 10%, not 50%, but 100% of the time. Yes or no, Doc?
And most importantly, nobody gets to ride the same wave twice.
That's right. It's important to understand. You get one shot at this, okay? You really, and I'm not telling you this to motivate you. I'm not telling you this so you can take action, although I want you to. I'm telling you because it's true. I'm being very candid with you, okay? I haven't told you anything about how much money you're going to make.
Right.
So just understand that. I'm telling you because the product simply is going to change your life. I will get to the prosperity. But what I've learned in the last 18 years of business, I've learned that we have to paddle out before the wave comes. If you're the type of person that needs to see it, feel it, touch it, I can tell you where your life is already. But if you're the type of person that says, this little boy came up to Jesus Christ, he said, Jesus, give me a sign and I'll give you my faith. And Jesus said, it doesn't work that way. Jesus said, give me your faith and then I will give you a sign.
Amen.
So you got to understand one thing. You need to walk first before the signs come. And I'm telling you right now, statistically, we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. Statistically, 98% of the companies don't even get to where we are today. Statistically, we will grow 1,000% for the next 2, maybe 3 years. Statistically, what that means to you, and I'm not going to give you a number because I'm not going to entice you. I'm going to be honest with you. What it means to you is that financial challenges and financial worries will be a distant memory in 2 to 3 years from today. And imagine a morning when you wake up and the first thing that doesn't come into your mind is the bills you have to pay. Imagine waking up and you don't wake up to the alarm.
Yes.
But you wake up to the birds chirping outside your window.
Wow.
Would that be nice?
Yes.
And then you walk yourself into your jacuzzi and sit there for about 30 minutes as you watch the news?
Yes.
Would that be cool?
Yes.
And your jacuzzi has this built-in massager? Yes.
Yes.
It goes from the neck, even the girls are getting excited. It goes all the way to the toes, back to the neck, right?
Yes.
And then you sit in your sauna for about 45 minutes. And you remove your impurities. And then you extend your hand and your butler gives you your shake and you take your shake. Yes? How would that feel?
Good.
Yes? And then you walk out to your balcony overlooking your infinity pool. Yes? And the horse stable's out there. And you have your breakfast. How do you feel? Yes? Does that mean?
Awesome.
Well, guess what? Is that a fantasy?
No.
No. People are living that today.
Oh, yes.
I am not an authority. I am a freshman. I am a rookie at the basic instructions before leaving Earth. I love to read it because I always grow from it. And I know one thing, and I like to memorize things. And I memorized this passage. And it says that God is not a respecter of people. So what I took from that was that if someone is living in it, so can you. If someone is driving it, so can you. If someone is experiencing it, so can you. Are you willing to pay the price?
Yes.
You have to pay a price sooner or later. You're either going to pay the price for failure or you're going to pay the price for success. But you're paying the price right now as we speak. The difference in the price you're going to pay is one is forever and one is for just right now. You can either live a life of failure and mediocrity and you can pay the price for the next 20, 30, 40 years. That's why they created the 40-40-40 plan. 40 hours a week, 40 weeks a year for the next 40 years. You can choose to live that life and God bless you. Or you can pay the price for the next 24 to 36 months and you're done. And you can live wherever you want and do whatever you want, whenever you want. That is a lifestyle that I pray you choose today.
Amen.
And what do you have to do? Just try the product for yourself. Try the product for yourself. Now let me share with you how this works. Like I said, the simple plan is $309. The plan with everything is $447. There's a $49 annual membership that you pay. And what do you get for that? You get the entire back office. You get Dr. Michael, myself, 24/7. Are you on 24/7?
Pretty much.
No, you're about 27.
27, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on 24/7.
I'm on 36.
If you want to join our conference call, I do Monday through Friday conference call at 5:20 in the morning. 10 minutes of inspiration to get your day going, okay? I don't care if you join, I don't care if you don't join, jump on that call because that call will change your life. I believe in the power of the spoken word. I believe that the spoken word, spoken at the right time, with the right intention, will massively change your life. Because the words that Dr. Michael gave me 18 years ago radically changed my life. You got to understand that at the age of 24, I had two things going for me. A lot of time and absolutely no money. I had no experience. I didn't understand the principles. I wasn't married. I had nothing. Zero. Nothing. By the age of 27, through Dr. Michael's help and assistance, I had created my first $1 million in business. And I don't say that to impress you. I say that to impress upon you that if I can do it, so can you. And the only difference now is that for the last 18 years, I've had some great experiences. That is it. But here in True to Life, we're all little kids. It's beautiful. We're 13 months old. We're kind of walking like this right now. Does that make sense? This is the time that you want to get to know us. You don't want to get to know us when we're in high school already, because you've lost a little bit. And you definitely don't want to get to know us when we're in college, because you missed the greatest opportunity. Ask anyone from Amway. Ask anyone from Herbalife. Ask anyone from Mary Kay. The people that have made the most money is when they got involved when the founders were still doing the presentations. Okay? Do you think Mary Kay towards the end was doing her own presentations? No. I don't think so. Do you think Richard DeVoe and Jeff Van Nilen were doing presentations? I don't think so. Do you think Mark Hughes was doing presentations? I don't. But at the beginning, they did whatever it took to get the company off and running. We will be in Canada. I mean, this is just 13 months into this game. I'm telling you, this is the right time. So let's get to the money part. Is that okay? Yes. You purchase this, you try it. You have a 14-day, 100% money-back guarantee on the product. If you don't like it, we don't want you to play. Understand? We want volunteers. We don't want victims. We don't want to persuade you. We don't want to entice you. We don't want to do it, and we don't want to talk you into it. We want you to say, it's my cycle, and I want to give it a shot right now. Try the product, 14 days. If it doesn't work, send it back. We refund your money. That is our policy. Because when I see you on the street, what is your name? Renee. Renee? When I see you, Renee, I want us to be able to say hello. Whether you liked it or you didn't. Yes? I don't want that awkwardness. Has your friend ever invited you something, and you buy it and you hate it, and then you see him at the barbecue, and it's kind of like an awkward feeling? Because you invested some money and you didn't get it back. I don't want that. I'd rather be a friend than you be with us and not be content. Does that make sense? Yes. So I'm going to talk about the 447 plan, okay? I'm going to talk about the one with the beauty products, okay? Real simple. You try the product, you enjoy it, and you talk to 2 people. Do you know 2 people? Do you know 2 people? Do you know 2 people? You know 2 people. Do you know 2 people? Yes. Do you know 2 people? ¿Conoce a 2 personas? Even bilingual. Do you know 2 people? Yes? Do you know? I can say 2 people in Tagalog. Dalawang tao. Like I said, Chinese and Japanese. Dalawan? Remind me to buy Rosetta Stone. Okay.
2 people.
That, okay. 2 people. That's all you gotta do.
Dos personas.
Oh, there you go. Dos personas, okay.
We also say that.
You talk to 2 people, and let's just say that they share with 2 people. That's it. We call that a family pack. A family pack is one person who buys a few. Why? Because if Beth would sign me up, I'm not going to get something special just for myself. I'd probably get something for my wife and my mother-in-law, or my wife and my mom. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But if you sign one person who brings it 2, you sign another person who brings it 2, that would normally be approximately about $300 to $400. But this month, it's $800. What type of effort did you put into it? You brought 2 people who brought in 2. But let's say you bring in 4 who bring in 2 apiece in a 30-day period. 4 who bring in 2. That would normally be about $1,300. This month, it's $2,000. And for the first 12 that do it, we're gonna fly you out, all expense, round trip, hotel accommodations, all inclusive hotel, to Cabo San Lucas for 3 nights and 4 days with us.
All right.
That's it. And for the remainder of the month, you don't pay the $49 annual membership. We're going to give you that membership. So you pay no membership.
No membership.
You use the product. You get 4 people who each sign up to. You get $2,000 plus a round trip ticket to Cabo with the founders. That's pretty sensational. This is for the people that are business minded. Okay. If you only want to try the product, fabulous. Just try the product. If you only want to try the product. If you say, I don't want to do anything with the business, but I want to use the product, God bless you. Use the product. My question to you is this. How many of you have ever gone to a restaurant that you liked and you told people about it? Mm-hmm. Have you ever done it?
Yes.
What's your favorite restaurant? Cheesecake Factory. Okay, very good. I love cheese. Have you ever told people, oh, we just want to eat at Cheesecake Factory? Have they ever paid Mr. Cheesecake? Yes, they have, right? So for food, yes? Did the Cheesecake Company Corporation ever send you a thank you email? Did they ever send you a referral fee? Nothing. But you still took people there. So therefore, we are doing this anyways. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We tell people go and see certain movies, go to eat at certain restaurants, go and buy from certain department stores, and no one's giving us any money back. So why not get paid to refer?
Well, yeah. Right.
It's very simple. You're going to do it anyways. Yes?
Yes.
Okay? If you like a beverage, you're going to tell people to buy it anyways.
Yes.
Yes? So that's what we're doing. Okay? Except what we're doing is, as people get involved, we will help you manage your organization and help you build your organization so you can create a residual income. Because that is the ticket to financial freedom, is residual income. Don't take it from me, but take it from people that are winning in the game of income, okay, in the economy game. If you look at someone like a Warren Buffett, if you look at someone like a Donald Trump, what are some of the greatest purchases they have made in the last 4 to 5 years? They've bought relationship marketing companies. Why are they buying relationship marketing companies? Why don't they go and buy real estate? Why don't they go and buy? They're buying it because this is the only place where you can leverage time for income. Does that make sense? You can leverage off of other people enjoying the product as you build wealth. And is that something great?
Yes.
How would you like to go on a month vacation, come back, and your income has grown?
Oh, yes.
I remember the first time I took a vacation when I was in practice. I was gone for 7 days. I come back and the practice is down by 30%. I got scared. I called Dr. Michael. I said, I don't know. How do you take a vacation when you're a sole proprietor? How do you take a vacation when your business revolves around you? Guess what's the answer? Some people just don't. I know people that have their own business and they have not been out of their business for a very, very long time. Something is not working. What you want to do is you want to try the product, you want to share with a few people, and allow the compensation plan to work for you. I have not sat with everybody in compensation plans, but the people that I've sat with, I have seen that ours is the most aggressive and the most generous and the most legal. I gotta throw that in. Okay. It is the most aggressive, it is the most generous, and it's the most legal. It's real simple. You pay, you try the product, you play a little bit, and your income grows. You have to put in some work. I'm not gonna lie to you. You have to put in some work, but it's much better an investment of a little bit of time for a payment of
A lifetime.
a lifetime. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
Makes sense.
Okay, very simple. The person who invited you is going to ask you one simple question. They're not going to ask you, what did you think about the videos? They're not going to ask you, gosh, I love the color purple. They're not going to ask you, wow, those were some great stories. They're going to ask you, do you want to try the product with the beauty or without the beauty? That's all they're going to ask you. And all you have to do is tell them, I want to try this one, I want to try that one. Fill out the order form. We can get you the product right now. After that, we're going to give a brief training on how you can start building your business. Fair enough?
Fair.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and God bless you.